Welcome to the Insight Drop, short segments to fuel your growth, sharpen your strategy, and challenge the status quo. This is Beyond Tradition.
This episode, we're really going to, again, piggyback off the last one where
Yeah.
we talked about financial literacy. This one is, setting goals and your long-term financial self with
Yes.
and without your partner.
Hopefully you looked into financial literacy and
Mhm.
you have a little bit of knowledge to understand,
Yeah.
how a business is ran, or even just personally, different
Yeah.
financial
Terms.
strategies, terms,
Mhm.
just kind of to really have a light understanding of it. Yeah, we're jumping
Forward
into
together.
it. Goals.
Goals.
Yeah, the goals, aligning your business goals and your family values together,
Mhm.
and your family goals, just to understand again where you both are, what you're both, it's almost like an expectations.
Yeah.
It helps put those boundaries out there where it's like, okay, I'm expecting this. And so if you're both working towards the same goal, it just keeps everybody on track. And then there's no confusion of like, well, I thought this was what we were doing.
Right.
And then 3 years later, you're
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you're like, wait, I thought we were doing this. And they're like, oh no, we're on this path.
Yeah.
And
Oh boy.
yes, it's happened.
Listen, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. And it's one of those things that I think it's a constant communication, but
Constant.
for sure, I think getting your goals on a piece of paper and having that conversation is the first step.
For sure. Let me
So.
tell you, being involved with other entrepreneurs, there was this situation, and it was a guy running his business, his wife supporting, and we got into conversation, and there were never any goals set. Business, personally, never. Nothing. And so for me, I literally it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, that partner loves you so much, because that is blind faith that I personally have never had. Imagine this person is leading you and your life in what direction? So that's why I was like, but how many people, and I kind of talked to my other friends about it, and she was like, well, not everybody's a goal setter. Not everybody lives that way. A lot of people are day to day.
And that's 100% okay.
Yes.
But not running a business.
Yeah.
So I think running a business, you have to have some sort of strategy. You're not just winging it.
Mhm.
I mean, unless there are the cases where someone creates some cool fidget and it goes whatever, and it blows up overnight. Those aren't the cases we're talking again.
No Shark Tank.
Yeah, no, none of that. We're talking about, again, we have a background in construction and
trades,
trades and services and stuff like that. So in our industries, you have to have some sort of plan of action. Like, who are you going after? Commercial, residential? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And again, I think when you start hitting those goals or those financial goals you establish, once you hit that goal, you're making another one. So
it's never been enough.
Yeah.
I look at where we are now, and I still feel like that person with paycheck to paycheck type of finance, right?
Yeah. Honestly, it's better to live that way, because you're gonna have a lot of money in the bank.
I guess.
Yeah, you have a lot of money in the bank at some point.
Except for now, I can pull the trigger on a vacation where I couldn't do that before. But
yes, it gives it a little bit of luxury. To life,
Exactly. But I will say, nothing to 7 figures. We've made mistakes. We've made I just think about the mindset shift that has to happen.
It has to happen. There's a huge mind shift that has to happen, that you have to be open to it, because you can't stay in the same spot. Again,
No.
We're always growing, we're always learning. So you have to, I call it pivoting. So everything's a pivot.
It's a pivot.
And so it's just one of those, you just keep going forward, and you just keep, as long as you are open-minded to keep growing and to keep learning and to keep, and again, setting goals that maybe set an unrealistic, like, I never tell anybody to set something unrealistic, but set something towards the moon and see if you get there. If you've already hit a bunch of your goals, throw something out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've hit a few of them where I'm just like, I was like, okay.
I still don't have the ability to really comprehend where we're at.
I don't know if anybody ever does.
But it is seeking
Yeah.
that knowledge. There's been a
Mhm.
huge like amount of education that's had to happen between then and now.
Oh, for sure.
Mindset shifts
Oh,
too.
yeah, definitely.
But I can't imagine not having a goal to drive us in that direction.
Yes. Again, why? I guess you know what I mean. If you don't have a why, or if you're just like, oh, this sounds fun, I guess that's
Mhm.
an approach. But
Yeah.
if you have no strategy, I call
Right.
goals like a strategy, because once you have a goal, you break it down
Yeah.
into
You're great
actionable
at that.
steps.
You are so good
And
at
then
that.
if those actionable steps seem impossible, you break those down even further. And even
Mhm.
it could be the smallest thing. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Because when you're in this life as an entrepreneur, nobody's telling you what you should be doing.
No.
Nobody, and I know that was a huge struggle for me,
Mhm.
but goals kind of gave us that like,
Yeah.
I've got to get this to do this to do this. But I will say, nobody tells you. I remember in the very, very beginning, one, I wasn't sleeping very well, anxiety.
Yeah.
Two, I was lost. Like I went from a 40-hour work week structure, a task list, people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
You don't have that as an entrepreneur.
Nope.
And I can just remember thinking on more than one occasion, I don't know what I should be doing.
Yes.
Where is my focus supposed to be today? I can't tell you. I don't know.
When we all hit that whatever standstill,
Yeah.
you know, and you're just like, what should I be doing today? Like, should I be focused on marketing? Should I be focusing on my bookkeeping? Should I be focusing on client relations?
And also think about your future self, like where you want to be.
Yeah.
Who do you want to be?
And what do you think your life looks like? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
what do you want out of it?
That sitting down though and having the conversation. So it
Yes.
should be like, here is our yearly goal for your savings account, for
Yeah.
your retirement account.
I even think start with a 10-year and then work your way
Mhm.
backwards. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or even, I guess, a 5 year is a good place
Yeah.
to start.
I was gonna say
You know?
2, 5, 10
Yeah,
is what I
exactly.
tend to
And
do.
then that way you can work backwards and then kind of, again, it's breaking that big goal down into tangible steps that you can take to achieve that goal.
Mhm.
And again, if you and your partner sit down, or you by yourself and you sit down and you get this done,
Mhm.
at least you have some sort of, again, basically a strategy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get to where you want to be.
And it helps in your decision making daily too.
100%. Because if your long-term goal is to, have a villa in Italy,
Yeah.
then you're not going to want to, you're going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Frivolous.
Yeah.
With your spending.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you remember the bigger picture of like, well, if I want that,
I can't do this.
I can't, I shouldn't waste my money on something,
Right.
and it's like, people get upset and they're like, oh, but I want to stop for coffee every day. And I was like, yeah, but again, this is
Yeah.
a very basic, you could do all this at home for a
Yeah.
fraction of the price you're spending daily.
Yeah. Again,
So-
we had a DoorDash and a Starbucks habit, and it was a $6 or $7 drink for both of us every day.
Yeah. But think of if you go back through that 6-month period and count up.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
You'll choke. Well,
Yeah.
honestly, you'll probably be like, are you kidding me? We could have this $2,500
Yeah.
sitting.
And
the
now,
bank.
yeah, our
Yeah.
kind of like compromise on that is we buy the cold brew.
Yeah.
At home. Now, is it packaged? Is it $4 or $5?
Still cheaper.
It's still cheaper because I get at least 4 coffees out of that one.
Exactly. Again, you set those goals and then you try to achieve them as you go along.
Yeah.
So-
and I do think you can align business goals. You can align family goals. You
Oh,
can
100%.
align, or if it's not family, it's you and your partner, your
Yeah.
spouse,
Yeah.
whatever that is,
Mhm.
whatever that looks like. But it does really kind of start personally. You don't necessarily have to have the same exact shared vision for the future, but it
No.
should be close.
I mean, yeah, it should be
yeah,
kind of close.
Kind of
It doesn't
close.
need to be identical, but I
Right.
feel like the big stuff should definitely be.
right.
Yeah.
And even now, quantifying those goals because we have a number.
Mhm.
If we can sell for that number, then
Yeah.
that's our retirement to
You just go,
live.
peace out.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Honestly, if I mean, but that's kind of
Yeah, for
the
sure.
the thing. And so now we're halfway there. How do we get to the other half? And what does that look like? So for us,
Yeah.
it's adding trucks, adding revenue,
Yeah.
adding, you know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure. Expansion.
Just
Which
so
is
scary.
It's so terrifying. A growth is always a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
especially because you're comfortable, you're making money, and it's like, do we, don't we?
Do I
But
really want to
again,
deal with more employees?
yeah, but you know your goal, and again, if you strategize it right and you
Yeah.
get the right management in place, you
Yeah.
know, we've talked about this, like
100%.
you can definitely achieve it. It's
Yeah.
just, but the growing pains suck.
The growing
Growing
pains
pains
sucks.
suck in a business.
I'm-
Period. End of story. Any entrepreneur that has gone from 3 employees to 7 employees has felt that burn.
My
and
God.
then 7 employees to 11, 12 employees.
That's where I'm
there's
at
another-
right now.
Oh,
We're at
yeah.
11. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it's
You're at
like
the cusp, baby. This is one of those. And I only know because at one point I had, I believe, 27. I had multiple crews running. You know,
my goodness.
yeah,
I
tons of excavators in the ground, putting
Yeah.
pipe in the ground. It was
I feel like we're
It
going
was
to
a
be
lot.
at 15 to 16.
yeah,
We both have owned and operated our companies with husbands. There's a very special,
Mhm.
special, unique situation. It doesn't work well for a lot of people. I will say one of the biggest challenges we've ever taken on is remaining married, running this business together.
yes,
That's the nitty gritty.
yeah, that is the nitty gritty.
Let me tell you.
I did not stay married.
Yeah. People be
but-
peopling.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And so I think when goals shift and change,
And people
and you
shift and
don't
change.
communicate
Yes.
that properly
Mhm.
with your partner, is when things go awry. And
Yes.
then, yeah, that's when things can change.
Being committed to that shared vision of your life together, sitting down and having the hard conversations.
Well, I think that's the main, when the resentment starts to come into play, you have to actually have a conversation
yes.
about it. Or when you feel like you're drowning, you
Mhm.
don't, you know what I mean? There's an appropriate way to do things.
Yes.
And sometimes with partnerships, it doesn't work out that way.
And you're not going to always agree. That's the
Right.
other part.
But you have to still respect that
yes.
person.
And
then
your book,
yeah,
which did we mention that?
we did. Yes.
Yes.
Not the first one.
Maybe
But
the second.
I think the second one we got in there
Yeah.
a little bit about
Your
it.
book is great about
Yeah.
that because I'm narrating the book.
Yeah, Shelby's narrating it. It will be available on audio, hopefully.
But I will say, in all of that, it is really good about you have to take action. You
Yeah,
set these
it's all
steps up,
about
take action.
taking action, and it's about clear communication, and it's honestly about mindset. You really have to put yourself where you want to be and get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so,
And again, that ties into so many things. Like I feel
Yeah.
like all of this is full circle. Your entrepreneurial life, your
mhm.
relationship,
Oh, yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
all of these things are applicable across the board.
Being an
Yeah.
entrepreneur is exhausting. It's never ending.
Let me tell you, we've kind of
never
talked
ending.
about that. It's never ending.
It's never ending.
And I try, like, when
Yeah.
I go places and do things, I just want to be quiet.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Both
and
of
my
us-
my
yeah.
guided journal, the
Mhm.
second, like it goes with the first book, but the second, it's called Unlock Wealth, and it literally will break it down for you. It'll teach you how to budget. It'll teach you how to set goals. It'll
Mhm.
teach you how to break those goals down
Yeah.
into steps. So it's a great
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To kind of get an idea if you're really like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
yes, we will have lots of worksheets.
Lots of worksheets available
Yeah.
for you guys. We
Mhm.
are giving homework. So
Yeah. Yes.
what did we say? We've gotten
Financial literacy.
financial literacy,
And
learned
now-
some terminology.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Now write your goals down.
Yeah, now write them down.
Have the hard conversations.
Yeah, that's going to be in every episode.
It is.
Every
Sorry,
episode's going to
guys.
tell you to have the conversations. And if you're an entrepreneur that is all by yourself, get it.
Get
You're
after
doing
it.
awesome.
Right.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Keep grinding.
Organize.
Mhm.
Keep yourself going.
Exactly. Goal setting's a good one for you.
Absolutely.
It's beyond tradition.
Beyond tradition.
All right. Bye.
Bye.